Hey, what's up? It's Christian from Vision 6D, and today I'm going to look with you into WBS. And we are going to do this through a practical example, which is the project of renovation of my house. This project was quite complex since, as you can see behind me, we had to redo the facade, but we had also to redo the kitchen and the bathroom as well as the studio. So WBS is a chart, and we'll see now how it helped me and how it's going to help you too. So you see here I have a first decomposition of the project. The project itself is called renovation. It's the top level. And then I have the four elements: the kitchen, the bathroom, the facade, and the studio. This is already a decomposition of the renovation project in four sub-parts. And this is already a second level of WBS, the work breakdown structure. But before to go any further, I have to tell you when this is happening in the project life cycle. Oh, wow, what a complicated diagram behind me. Don't worry, we aren't going to enter into all those details. It's just to show you when WBS has to be performed. We talk of the scope. The scope is what do we have to do into this project. So it's at the moment when we are asking ourselves, what do we have to do in the project? So we'll analyze the complete scope of the project. What do we mean by scope? It's what are the deliverables? And in order to do this, you have here the WBS process, which is the creation of the WBS itself. So what do we need in order to be able to do the WBS? Most of the time, you will need the requirements. And is it really working like that? With my experience, what I see, it's that you are doing the requirements, but to do the requirements, you already need in some way to decompose your complex project. So you are already doing some part of WBS. So you will see that more or less requirements and WBS, they go and work together. So the WBS process has itself as input the scope statement, which defines the what of what is needed in this project, and the requirement documentation. As output, we'll have a baseline of the scope that will be used as a reference in the project, and we'll have several project documents that will be updated. So once you've done the WBS, you will need to validate the scope. It means that if you have customer, do we really understand one another, and do we understand the same way the scope, what needs to be done into this project? Now we broke down a bit more the project. You see that we've defined the kitchen, we've defined the bathroom, and I haven't expanded the facade and the studio, but they are also integrated with WBS. So let's give a closer look at what will compose the kitchen. We'll have furniture, we'll have electrodomestic, we'll have the floors, and we'll have walls and ceilings. The same thing, you will find them for the bathroom. We will also need to do the floor, then the walls around, and then decide for furniture and the water closet and the shower. And there will be electrical components in there like lights, air conditioner, and the plugs. You see that the decomposition of the bathroom was done in that way. When I look now at the kitchen, there will be furniture that I decompose as first doing the design of the kitchen. How do I want my kitchen to look like? And then, of course, there needs to be measurements to know what are the size, what are the dimensions of the furniture that I can put in the kitchen. And then after, I will need to install all that. If I want to look a bit further at the kitchen, I have an open kitchen, so it means I have 3 walls and 1 bar. So this could additionally be decomposed, as you can imagine, but I'm not going to do it. On the other hand, I have also to do the floor in the kitchen. I have also there to do the base and define the tiles. The third or fourth element is the wall and the ceilings that needs also to be done in the kitchen. So you see that although bathroom and kitchen could look alike, there are different ways to do the decomposition. So with this, I want to show that there isn't anything that is right or anything that is wrong. It's a point of view, it's a different perspective. Now I focus on the kitchen part, and you see in yellow we have the electrodomestic, where I have inserted the stove, the oven, the fridge, and the dishwasher. Of course that this could be split further, but it was enough in my case in this situation. Another point that is interesting is the wall and the ceiling. As you see, the walls, there were carpentry to be done, and then of course there were paintings, and then came the electrician with what kind of lights and what kind of plugs. So this, I didn't decompose it further, but when we discussed, then I was a bit surprised, because there was the choice of color, the choice of shape. Do you want them square? Do you want them round? Do you want them white? Do you want them gray? So all this I didn't decompose, and it was a bit a surprise, and it was at that time that I quickly had to decide. But once again, decomposition is up to everyone, and it's true that it is a difficult question to know at which level to stop. But in my case, I would say 3, 4, and there are other projects where you can go up to 12 levels. So here I also added the plumbing, you see, with the sink and the dishwasher. So with that, you have an overview of the WBS decomposition of the kitchen component in my renovation project. I used 5 levels for the renovation project decomposition. We call work packages the elements that you find at the lowest level of the WBS. For example, here I can take the wall as being the lowest work package, and here you will see the work package is get a stove, get an oven, get a fridge. So these are the work packages. From this, how do you go to scheduling? So from those lowest packages, you can see them as tasks into a schedule. And for example, if I take back here the example of the walls, you will have a summary task, which will be the design, which will be composed of the wall 1, 2, and 3, and the bar. We will look in another video how to bring all this into MS Project. Everything we need to understand in this project is brought on a single chart, and all the elements are the deliverables we need to provide with the project. There is also the project management element that needs to be brought into the project. For this, I broke it down into the management plan, that is to say, how are we going to manage this project, then the planning itself entitled plan, and then the monitoring and control of what's going on into the project. This can now be included in the project. With this, we've broken down a complex project into easier to understand components. Every element of the WBS is an end product, but we don't show how it has to be done and when it has to be done. This is part of scheduling that we'll look in an additional video. When you are performing a WBS, try to avoid to be alone, even if you are excellent. Try to do it with the team that will work on the project. It will motivate them to be involved from the beginning. And you will get a lot of good ideas and ways how to decompose the work. There are also other ways to decompose a project. Like this, you see the renovation project with the first steps, which are initiation. Then you have the planning part, and then the execution, and finally the closing. And I showed just here down on the plan how we could further decompose by having a global plan, and later on maybe a detailed planning would come. So this is a different way to use WBS to do a structuring of a project. With that, we've gone around what is WBS. I hope it was simple enough. All what is left to me is to tell you that you liked it, you can sum up. Feel free to comment, share with friends, subscribe to the channel, and I wish you a really good time, and I'm happy to see you in the next video. Bye bye!